Welcome back to The Mind, a podcast series by the Ramakrishna Vedanta Centre, New Zealand. A conversation at the meeting point of modern science and the contemplative traditions of yoga and Vedanta. I'm Rama, your host. As ever, you're sitting in on a real conversation between Swamiji and three fellow travellers: Sarah, a parent; James, a teacher; and Kai, our resident skeptic. Last time, we found something strange. The I you take yourself to be is itself something you can watch, which left one question hanging. If you can watch the watcher, what is doing the watching? Today, the two faces of what you are. Let's join them. The same room. Outside, it has just started to rain, a soft sound against the window. Everyone has arrived a little early. There's an ease in the group now. They know each other.
Last time I asked you to watch the eye, to catch it where it bites, and notice that it's something you can be aware of, not the whole of you. What happened?
Thursday was hard. My daughter slammed a door and I felt I'm failing her arrive like a fact. But I caught it. There's the thought, I'm failing her. And you were right, it gave me a centimetre. Just enough that I didn't follow her up the stairs and make it worse.
Mine was mid-lesson, exactly as I predicted. I've lost them. I'm not good at this. I noticed it was a thought I was watching, not a verdict, and somehow the next 10 minutes went better. I can't fully explain why.
I did the phone one, put it down, felt the what's wrong with me, and went looking for the I delivering the verdict. And it just wasn't there. There was the feeling, but no little judge behind it I could point to.
Good. All three of you found the same thing from different doors. You found that there's an awareness in which the I appears, and that you can't turn around and catch that awareness as an object. Which leaves a very natural question hanging, and Kai, you put your finger right on it. When you went looking and found nothing there, what is that awareness? Is it just a blank? An empty space? A silent witness that does nothing? Or is it something more? That's what tonight is about.
I'll be honest, nothing there felt a bit like a dead end. Like the answer is just emptiness.
Let's test that rather than assume it. Right now, as you sit here, there's the sound of the rain, isn't there? Some sensation in the body, a thought or two. Now tell me, are any of those hidden from you?
Nah, they're all just there, obvious.
Known. They're all being known. The rain is known, the thought is known. Now, here's the question I want you to actually check. Did you have to do anything to make them known? Did you switch on some inner light to light them up?
No, they're just already lit. I didn't do anything.
That's the first thing, and it's easy to walk straight past it. As long as you're awake, your experience is already lit from within. You never switch on the light of knowing. It's always on. The awareness you couldn't catch as an object last week isn't a blank, it shines. It's what makes everything knowable.
That's a strange thing to call light, though. There's no actual brightness.
True, not light you could photograph. Let me give you the image the old investigators used, because it's exact. Think of the sun in a room. The sunlight makes everything in the room visible, the table, the cup, your hands. Now, what makes the sun visible?
Nothing else. You don't shine a torch at the sun to see it. It shows itself.
Precisely, James. The sun reveals everything else and reveals itself by its own light. It needs no second sun. Awareness is like that. When a thought arises, you don't need a second awareness to notice the first one. The knowing is already built in. Awareness reveals the thought, and in the same act reveals its own being aware. It is self-revealing. The traditions of India had a word for this quality, prakasha, which simply means light, or that which reveals.
So nothing there was wrong, it's more like. I went looking for an object and found the light itself, which isn't an object.
Beautifully put. You found the seeing, not a thing seen, and the seeing shines.
All right, it shines. But light that reveals things still sounds a bit mechanical, like a lamp, like a security light that just switches on when something moves.
That is exactly the right worry to have, Sarah, and it leads us to the second thing, which most people miss entirely. Try something with me. For a moment, don't think about anything in particular. Just notice that you are here. Not your name, not your worries, not Sarah, the mother of two, just the bare fact of being awake and present. Are you there?
Yes, it's quiet, but yes, definitely here.
Now the real question. Is that presence blank? Is it like an empty room? Or does it have a kind of aliveness to it? A tone?
It's not blank. There's something, alert, awake, like a quiet hum of being here. It's not nothing.
That quiet hum of being here, that's the second face of awareness. And it changes the whole picture. Awareness isn't just a light that reveals things. It's alive. It knows itself as present. Now let me show you why this matters. With three things that reveal but are not alive. A mirror. It reflects your face perfectly. Does the mirror know it's reflecting you?
No, it's just glass.
A television screen shows you a film. Does the screen experience the film?
No.
A camera records the whole wedding. Does the camera enjoy the wedding?
No, it just sits there.
A mirror, a screen, a camera. They all receive, they all record, and not one of them knows it's doing so. There's no one home. Your awareness is the opposite. It reveals, like the mirror, but it also knows itself as present. There is someone home. That living self-presence, the felt I am before it becomes I am tired, or I am anyone in particular. The traditions of Kashmir called vimarsha, which means something like self-awareness or inner aliveness. Where prakasha is the light, vimarsha is the one who lives in the light and knows it.
Here's where my skepticism kicks in again. Isn't the brain is alive and active just obvious neuroscience now? Why dress it in Sanskrit?
A fair shot. And here's the part you'll like. For most of the last century, science pictured the mind exactly as you feared a moment ago, a passive machine. Data comes in, gets processed, meaning gets bolted on afterwards. The brain as a receiver. But that picture has been overturned by research called embodied cognition. Listen to what they found. When a musician simply hears a melody, the movement and motor parts of their brain light up, as if the body is already getting ready to play. When you read the single word sandpaper, the touch region of your brain stirs, as if your hand were already feeling something rough.
So the brain isn't waiting to be told what things mean, it's already reaching out to meet them.
Exactly, James. Meaning is built into perception from the very first instant. The brain anticipates, simulates, participates. It is not a passive screen, it is active, reaching, alive. And here's what should interest a skeptic. The contemplatives named this living, active quality of awareness vimarsha, roughly 1,000 years before a laboratory confirmed it from the outside. Two completely different methods, the same finding. That's not proof of one by the other, but it's a striking handshake across 1,000 years.
Okay, that I find genuinely interesting.
So now I'm holding two things. Awareness as light, it reveals, and awareness as alive, it knows itself. Are those two separate properties? Two different things that happen to come together.
The best question of the evening, and the answer is no, and seeing why not is the heart of it. Let's try removing one and see what's left. Imagine light that reveals everything but has no self-presence, no one knowing the revealing. What would that be?
Just a process. Like the security light. Things get lit, but it's not an experience for anyone.
Right, that's not awareness at all, that's a machine. Now the other way. Imagine pure self-presence with no light, a felt I am but nothing whatsoever appearing, nothing known. What's that?
A blank point, present to nothing, which is sort of meaningless.
So neither one survives on its own. Awareness is necessarily both at once. It reveals, and it lives in its own revealing. Here's the image. Think of a single flame. It gives off brightness and it gives off warmth. Can you separate the brightness from the warmth and still have a flame?
No, they're not two things stuck together. They're one fire, felt two ways.
That is it exactly, Sarah. Brightness and warmth, one flame. The light of knowing, prakasha, and the living self-presence, vimarsha, one awareness. And because they always come together, this course gives them a single name that holds both. Consciousness energy. Consciousness for the light that reveals. Energy for the living, creative aliveness, what the tradition also calls Shakti, the power of the divine. One reality, two faces.
Why does that wording matter though? It sounds like a label.
Because of what it rules out, Kai, and this is where it touches your life directly. There's a common misreading of spiritual teaching that says, deep down you're a still, blank witness, and the whole world is just an illusion playing on an empty screen. This course says the opposite. The ground of you is not a blank screen. It's alive. It's creative. You've already felt its aliveness in that quiet hum of being here, Sarah noticed. And that single difference changes everything about mental health. May I show you how?
Please, this is the part I came for.
Two ways to picture your own mind. First picture. The mind is a recording device. Life happens to it. It stores the recordings, and over the years some of them harden into anxiety, into a short temper, into I'm not good enough. On this view, your suffering is a deposit sitting in the system, and you're stuck with it.
That's honestly how it feels. Like the bad stuff is just in there, permanent.
I know. Now the second picture, the one that's actually true. The mind is not a recorder. It's alive and self-modifying. Those hardened patterns aren't deposits sitting there. They're processes the mind is actively keeping going, moment by moment. And that means, Kai, follow this. The very same living power that built them can build differently.
Is there a name for this? Because that's a big claim.
There is, and it's now mainstream science, neuroplasticity. The brain is not a fixed structure. Its very wiring changes according to how you habitually use it. Someone who practices steady attention for months grows measurable density in the attention regions of the brain. Someone who rehearses worry every day physically strengthens the worry circuits. Someone who practices compassion reshapes the circuits of empathy. The brain you have is partly the brain you've been practicing.
So when I spiral into worry about my daughter, I'm not just suffering, I'm training the worry.
Gently, yes. But hold the hopeful half just as firmly. If worry can be trained, so can steadiness. Think of the hillside. Walk the same path every day and you wear a deep groove. Eventually, your feet fall into it automatically. That's a habit of mind, a worn groove. But a groove is not a canyon carved in stone. It's just earth worn by repeated walking. Start walking a different line, patiently, and a new path forms. The old one slowly grows over.
So the patterns aren't a verdict on who I am, they're just where I've been walking.
That is the whole teaching in one sentence, Kai. Your patterns of fear and contraction are not permanent facts about you. They are grooves worn by use, and the same living power that wore them can wear new ones. Neuroplasticity is just this living aliveness of awareness. Vimusha, showing up at the level of the physical brain. The contemplatives found it from the inside. The neuroscientists found it from the outside. Both are telling you the same liberating thing. You are not finished. You are still being made, and you have a hand in the making. 2 small notices, as before, under a minute each, and then one thing tuned to each of you. Lightly, never strain. The first, for everyone, notice the light. Once a day, pause and notice that whatever is present, a sound, a sensation, a thought, is already being known. You don't switch the knowing on. It's already happening. Rest there for a few breaths. Knowing is happening. The second, for everyone, notice the aliveness. Then drop the contents and notice simply that you are here, awake, present. Notice it isn't blank. There's a quiet hum, a tone of being alive. That's the living presence we spoke about. Sarah, pick one worry groove you know well. The daughter one, perhaps. Next time you feel your feet falling into it, don't fight it. Just notice, the old path. And very gently take one step off it. One breath, one softer word, one pause. You're not uprooting years in a day. You're starting a new line on the hill.
So one small step off the worn track, rather than trying to flatten the whole hill at once.
Exactly. James, watch for the groove in your teaching. The reflex thought about a particular class or child this group never engages, notice it's a worn path, not a fact, and deliberately walk one different step. Ask the question you'd normally skip. Give the benefit of the doubt you'd normally withhold. See what grows.
I have precisely that thought about my Friday class. I'll test it.
And Kai, yours is the brain one, since you like the science. Pick one tiny practice, 2 minutes of steady attention on your breath, once a day. Not to feel calm, just to prove to yourself over a couple of weeks that a groove can be worn on purpose. You're running a small experiment in neuroplasticity on your own mind.
2 minutes a day, as an experiment, not a chore. I can do that.
Notice what you find. Don't grade yourself. We'll begin next time with whatever turned up.
That's where we'll leave it. If you take one thing from today, let it be this. The ground of you is not a blank screen. It's alive, and it can change. Before next time, Swamiji gave each of them a small experiment, one gentle step off a worn path. Try it yourself. Next episode, stillness and movement are not two. How the same reality can be perfectly still and endlessly alive at once. I'm Rama. Until then, be gentle with your mind. And to explore it more fully, the full Lesson 1.3 is available in the course Beginners, Conversations on the Mind in the Light of Modern and Spiritual Sciences on the Ramakrishna Vedanta Center's website, www.vedanta.nz. It is also available as an app on Google Play and the Apple App Store by searching for Vedanta NZ.